the morning.
So, as you saw from the title of this video, I'm going to break down how much I've spent on my S13, what I've spent it on. It's not going to be a pretty calculation. Keep in mind these prices are going to be more of a generalization and not an exact cost. There are a ton of other small parts and fluids that definitely add up to the price of having a project car that I am not going to include. However, I am going to include the purchase price of the car, and I'll go over like everything from buying the car from start to finish to where I am now with the Rocket Bunny. I'm also not going to include things like fuel, old tires, and car insurance, or old parts, so like brake pads that were on the car that I've gone through. I'm not going to include that. I'm not going to include old tires that I've burned through, like just pretty much old consumables. I'm just going to include what's currently on the car at this exact moment. My main focus is really to lay out the big purchases that I've gone through and what I've experienced as far as financials with this car. So I do have an Excel spreadsheet printed out with pretty much breaking down everything I've spent so far. Up to today is now 10:58 a.m. on October 22nd, 2018. Okay, so first things first, I had to buy the 240, the S13, the S chassis. I bought that a little more than 2 years ago, like 15 months now, I think, around there. I bought it as a 1989 Nissan 240X, 5-speed, clean title, full interior, completely stock, except for wheels and a front bumper. I bought it for $3,200 in Los Angeles, California, which does tend to have a little bit higher price of a car when it comes to like tuner cars, JDM cars. The drift tax is definitely more prevalent in this area than others that I've seen. So second on the list, I have the SR20 swap. I have a $4,200 price tag on that. That includes the swap, like the engine, transmission, all the accessories, the pumps, and then a new clutch, a new flywheel, the 180SX radiator that I'm running from the front clip. Oh, come on. And then I am running a wiring specialties engine and transmission harness just to simplify things, because I didn't want to run into any wiring issues down the road. And then along with that, I do have to run a chase-based power steering kit since I have an 89 or 90 chassis. The power steering is on the opposite side in the later cars, so an SR20 is an easier swap if you have a 91 and 94. But if you have an 89 to a 90, you either need a chase-based swap power steering kit, an ISR power steering kit, or a dual overhead cam donor chassis power steering kit. So that price on that is $300. Then after that, I have the 5x114 hub conversion. That's pretty straightforward. I have $400. Then I have the Koenig Hypergram 17x9. I'm running a 25 offset. Those are $600 plus $400 for the Sumitomo HTZR tires that I have on it. So $400 for the hubs, $600 for the wheels, and $400 for the tires. So that's another $1,400 right there. And then along with the engine, you have to have your exhaust set up. So I have $100 for a Megan Racing downpipe and an eBay test pipe. And then connecting to those exhaust pieces is the ISR MBSE catback. That's $320 from Injuku. Whew, okay, the next one hurts. So I do have an authentic Greddy Rocket Bunny, well, TRA Kyoto, but imported by Greddy. So that was $2,200 shipped to my door, freight shipping, so it is a little bit pricey. And that was ordered from 240SX Motoring. And then you need hardware and you need like bumper mounts, like I've shown in the videos. I have those quick releases for the front bumper. I put a total for $100 for that. The hardware itself, like all the little nuts and bolts and washers, that was like around $70 from Spec Z Performance. So actually, the hardware is pretty expensive. And then the next big purchase is the Sparco Sprints. I do have a driver and a passenger seat. So each seat is $400 for a total of $800. So I just put a price of $1,100 for both seats and both rails, passenger and driver. And then next thing is $300. That is a Z32 brake master cylinder and both front calipers. They are a direct bolt-on, but you do need new pads and rotors for that. So I have a price of $300 for the calipers and the brake master cylinder. And then, okay, yeah, I was looking for another. Then another $200 for the current pads and rotors that I have on the car. Those are Softex all around, and you do need stainless lines as well to run those calipers. The next big thing is the auto power roll bar that I have. It's just a bolt-in half cage roll bar, whatever you like to call it. Freight shipped to my door, that is another $600. Then just going down the list of bushings, I just put a generic $200 for bushings all over the place. I literally put bushings all over the place on the list. With any old car, 30 years old, or a little less potentially, but very high mileage, especially on a S chassis, your bushings are going to be shot, your tie rods are going to be shot, you're going to have to replace those, and you're going to need an alignment after that. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Another thing on the SR20, I have an intake. I'm just running an ISR intake. That's another $120. And then I do have new taillight housings. I guess I haven't installed them on the car yet, but they've been sitting inside the car. But those are 80 bucks on eBay. On to the second page. So the car, it does have coilovers. They're pretty crappy coilovers. They're made by ISR. I would not recommend them. If you're looking to slam your car, they're fine. But if you're looking for either drifting or grip driving, I would save up and get, even BC Racing is a step above, but I would look more into Fortune Auto. BC Racing, they're higher end line. I forget the code name for it, but they're like $19,000 or $2,000. Even feel or stance coilovers are a better buy than these ISR. Don't get ISR, don't get Megan Racing coilovers. You'll regret it in the long run if you do any motorsports. But anyways, those are $700. And then other things, I have a front bash bar from Dang Drifters, that is $150. And then I have a rear bash bar from Street Faction with a license plate mount and the rear jacking point, that is $350. And then I have an ISR version 2 short shifter. I would recommend that actually. It is a pretty good piece for $100. I have experience with B&M. They're very similar. I would not say the B&M is worth the $250 over the $100 ISR one. I also think the ISR one, which is gold, looks pretty cool. I've been running that for like 2 years now and without issue. And no rattles either. The version 2, I heard the version 1 does have a lot of rattling problems, but with the version 2, they're a lot better. Even the version 1 B&M shifter would rattle, but they did fix that again in their own version 2. And that brings the total price right now to $15,820. If it would focus, there we go. So again, it's not cheap. Would I do it again? Yes, I would do it again. Would I do it with the same car? No, I would not do it with the same car. I would do it with an S14, specifically the Kooky that I used to have. I sometimes do regret selling that car, and the Kooky, as far as I know, it's literally just a better chassis performance-wise. So that would be the car that I picked. Coupes are my favorite body style. Between the S13 and the S13 hatchback and the S13 coupe, I'm pretty up in the air. But I definitely do like S14s now better than S13s. I didn't in the past. And yeah, that pretty much completes the list. So pretty much 16,000 and more when you include your fuel, your car insurance, previous consumables that have gone through in the car. That is enough money to buy an FRS nowadays, which, sorry about that, it is something to consider. Because like right now I have a pretty good performance car, it makes a lot of grip, pretty good power from the SR, but you could buy a Fiesta ST as well, which is going to be just as fast, a lot more practical, and a new car. So that's another thing to consider. Anyways, I'm trying to be as transparent as possible with the car. Again, this is not an exact total. You're going to spend more than $15,820 to get your car to even where mine is, I guess. Just because there's so many other little parts that I just didn't add up. Like I've probably spent another $100 in hardware just replacing bolts all over the car. Fluids, transmission fluid, redline fluid, that gets expensive really quick. And there's been 3 different transmissions on my car. I've probably flushed the transmission like 5 different times. And that is 30 bucks a pop for transmission fluid, redline MC90. Don't cheap out on transmission fluid though. Just new gaskets everywhere as well. Thread locker, freaking engine oil, JDM oil filters. Yeah, it adds up. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. About 2 days from now I'll be working again, trying to finish the Rocky Bunny kit, so I'll have a video from that in a couple days. And then yeah, I talked to the guy who should be painting my SR13. I'm really excited for that. We haven't decided on a color yet. I am leaning towards the white though. I asked you guys to comment what you thought in the last video, but I think I am going to lean towards white with a carbon fiber hood and an APR GTC 300 wing on the back, and then potentially a V2 Rocket Bunny diffuser. Again, that'll all be stuff to deal with after the car's painted anyway, so right now I just need to finish the kit, get the car prepped, and then get it over, trailer it over to get painted. And then yeah, I want to have it back before my birthday in November. Yeah, as you can see, building a 240 is not cheap at all. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you are new to the channel, just make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in a couple days. Thank you so much for watching, and peace out.